Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahana Bhunattu Sahaviryan Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhidama Mayudhitavahai Om Shanti 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 Purana Ayam Kurayam Manjavasada Sankaram Yogasankaram Sankaram Sankaracharya Keshavam Bhagarayam Putra Bhagavantau verse number 22, page number 142, page number, verse number 22, dream and memory, Swapna Smriti, Swapna, Prakarana Smriti. पकड़ लिया अकार्य शेषम आत्मा is akarya. Akarya means it is actionless. Station. It is station means what remains is akarya station. It is action. It is something that is not the body, and therefore it is free. Mobility is has to be done only by the world, by what is in space. What is in space alone cannot be mobile. What is not in space cannot be mobile. Therefore, the body is located in space. Therefore, the body is mobile. But the Atma is not located in space. Atma, and therefore, it is actually Akarya Station. Atman, Atma, Atman, Akriyatma, and it is actionless self. Kriya Phalam, and it is free from the result of the Kriya. Kriya Phalam, it is free from the action, and it is free from the Phalam also, the result also. If it is action free, then it is free from action, and also result, free from the action and Kriya Phalam. Nirmama. Nirmama means it is free from. Next is it. Nirmama. Swarupa Nirdharanam is what is called Jnanam. So, determining its nature. Nirahankaram means it is free from identity with the Deha. Free from identity, it is not Deha. Nor does it have identity with the Deha. And therefore, it is free from the Deha and free from being the Deha, free from the identity with the identity of having with the Deha. Identity of having. It has no identity with Deha. Yeah, Pashyati Sapashyati. The one who understands this understands well. Yeah, Pashyati. This sees it properly. How that he is actionless, or the Atma is action free, because it's not located in space, and therefore it is action free. Whatever is located in space has mobility. The body is located in space, and therefore the body has mobility. And the body, the thought has mobility. Thought pertains to the object. An object is located in the space, and therefore it is mobile. It can move from one point of space to another point of space. Every limb of the body can move from one point of space to another point of space. And mobility means spatial movement. Spatial movement is what is called the Kriya. And the Atma is not located in the Deha, in the space. And therefore Atma by nature, consciousness is not by nature located in space, and therefore it is free from mobility. It is free from action. It is actionless. And therefore it is action free. Akriyatmakaha. And it is when it is free from action, it is free from the results of the action. And it is free from the results of action means it is free from the prarabdha, it is free from the prarabdha karma, agami karma, sanchita karma, all the karmas it is free from. From the onlooker point of view, you may say that he has got prarabdham, but from his point of view, he has no any kind of prarabdham. He has no prarabdham, he has no agami karma, he has no sanchita karma also. Why? Because he is free from action. He is action free. being action free, Atma being action free, it is free, it is actionless, and therefore it is also free from the results of action. When it is free from action, it is free from the results of action. It is free from the relationship also, subject-object relationship. Bhagavan only. Everything is Parameshwara. Parameshwara doesn't have anything. Parameshwara is alone. Parameshwara alone is. In the deep sleep state, everything is you. Even in the waking state, everything is you. In the dream state, everything is you. And therefore, you may have something. That's having something is avidya. Everything is yourself. Everything is yourself. Everything is made of you. Therefore, everything is made of you. Everything is not had by you. You don't have anything. Even if you have something, that feeling that I have something, that feeling is only avidya kalpitam. Mama ahankara yatnecha shunya eva swabhavataha. By nature, ahankara and mamaka, it is free from ownership and free from yatna. Shunya. Shunya. You don't have to. यदि ज्ञान आध्यों आध्यों means you cannot do you don't have to do any disease. You don't have to do any language. What is the use of action? What is the use of struggle? What is the use of my reflection, mountain? You don't have to become. If you have to become, then you have to work. You don't have to be. You don't have to become. You are already the unlimited, and therefore you don't have to become the unlimited. If you have to be, you are involved. But the Atma is not something. It is not actually in the form of the being. It is in the form of existence. Therefore, your existence is something. You don't have to become it. If you don't have to become it, then what is the use of struggle? What is meditation? What is the use of reflection? If you have to reflect, to understand, to understand the solution. You do reflection by nature. And the fire is hot. Wherever it is hot. Whether it is in America or in India, it is always hot. Whether it is above or below, it is always hot. It is its nature. And we are talking only about the nature. We are only talking about the nature of awareness, nature of you. Your nature is by always, Sarupa is by your nature. You are always full, complete. Therefore, you don't have to become any struggle. You don't have to become it. You don't have to become unlimited. You don't have to become timeless. You don't have to become non-dual. You don't have to become anything. You don't have to unbecome anything. You don't have to become anything. Unbecoming also is a struggle. Becoming also is a struggle. But you don't have to become or unbecome anything. You don't have to. You don't have to. You don't have to unbecome the jivatvam also. The jivatvam is not doesn't qualify the truth, and therefore you are that truth. And understanding your nature is exactly what is necessary. Understanding your nature is exactly what is necessary. Understanding your nature frees you from all the sadhanas, frees you from all the sadhana struggles. And therefore, Atmani Yadi Jnatam, if it is understood, Advam Swasthaha, may you be restful in yourself. May you be restful in yourself. This mandate is also necessary because the Atma is always Swastham, and therefore Atma is always Swasthaha, and therefore you don't have to give any mandate. And therefore Advam Swasthaha, that also need not be, it's a mandate. That mandate is given. Atma, so Atma other than Swastaha. And therefore Atma Jatam Advam Swastaha Kimihitahi. And therefore what is the use of struggles? The struggles also are not necessary because you don't have to become, you don't have to unbecome. What is the use of struggles? You don't have to become struggles. You don't have to become yourself. You don't have to become awareness. You are already awareness. You don't have to become awareness. You don't have to become full awareness. It is fullness is the nature of awareness. Fullness is the nature of consciousness. Fullness is in the time. It's not to be in time, not to be in time in space, not to be located in time and space. Is its nature, and therefore there is no use of struggle. You don't have to become it. You don't have to unbecome anything. You don't have to unbecome even jiva, because jivatvam also is doesn't qualify your nature. You don't have to unbecome jiva. You are understanding the nature. Understanding nature is exactly what is important. Understanding that I am not the body has not been qualifying you. Body it has not. It is only the lack of vichara keeps you feeling that I am the body. Lack of vichara. If it is understood that it is Atma is free from Atma is not qualified by ahankara, mamakara, yatna, ichha. That if it is understood, then they are not there. Then that means you are not qualified. You are free from all of them, ahankara, mamakara, and therefore ahankara is a problem. Ichha, desires are the problems to make you struggle, and all these things are called samsara. You are free from. You are not having any use of struggles. Struggles are necessary. This verse is over. Verse is over. Now the 24th verse. Yoham kartaram atmanam tatha vettaram evacha. You see, relationship is always a problem. Knowing the objects anybody can do. Knowing the objects anybody can do. Every jiva is aware of the objects. Knowing yourself as the knower of the objects is not necessary. That you are non-dual is the sushupti, that is your nature. That you are not related to any object, because object is you, and you are non-dual, and that is exactly what is necessary. To be related is not your nature. That is avidya kalpitam. Not to be related to any object is your nature. Not to be related to any object is your nature. And therefore here it is said, Yoham kartaram atmanam tatha vettaram evacha vetti. A person who knows himself as the knower of vettiti, the one who knows himself as the knower of the objects, he doesn't know himself as the knower of the objects. That means he is a jiva. As a jiva, he doesn't know the Paramatma. And therefore, if he is a jiva, and therefore, that they don't qualify the Atma is necessary, ji. That the objects are not, I'm not related to any objects, I'm related to nothing. Relationship is not my nature. Relationships do not qualify me. This is exactly what is to be understood. Yoham kartaram atmanam aham karta. I am the karta. I am embodied, and I am karta. I am action. I am full of actions. Atmanam tatha vetaram. And a person who understands, who thinks that he is the knower of the objects. He is action. He is active, and he is the enjoyer of the pleasures and is the enjoyer of the pains. The one who thinks that he doesn't know himself. Veti na atmajnaha. He is not atmajnaha. Eva sav. He is not atmajnaha. He is not. Ye anyatha. The one who knows that I am not related to any object. Anyatha jnaha means the one. Anyatha means otherwise. The one who understands the self as otherwise, he knows the self. Means he is not related to any object. That I am related to the object, that I am the object makes me a jiva. That I am not, I am not related, no relation. Does it qualify me? No relationship to an object qualifies me. This knowledge makes him atmajnaha. Non-duality makes him a understanding the swarupa nature as something non-dual makes him atmajnaha. If a person doesn't know that he is atmajnaha, if a person doesn't know that he is advaitam, he is non-dual, he doesn't know himself. And therefore, if he thinks that he is an action, he is active, and he is the karma phaladata, he is enjoyer of the results thereof. He is the enjoyer of the results of his action. Then he doesn't know. Similarly, if he knows that he is the knower of the object, also he doesn't know the truth. Because as the knower of the object, we are jivas. As the knower of the object, we are jivas. As the non-dual, it is Paramatma Jnana. As non-dual. Jo anyatha jnaha sa atmavid. The one who understands it as non-dual, he is Atmajnaha. He has got avidya. Avidya kalpita. He is under the spell of avidya. To think that I am Dvaiti makes him a Jivatma. To think that he is Advaitam makes him Atmajnaha. Makes him a man of self-knowledge. And therefore here kartaram atmanam tatha te vetarameva cha veti na atmajnaha. Eva means indeed, asava means this person. This person is not atmajnaha. He doesn't know the self. If he thinks that he is full of actions and he is active, and he enjoys the results thereof also. He enjoys the differently. The one who understands the self to be non-dual, he understands the self. He is action free, and he is pleasures and pains, and he doesn't have the pleasures and pains. Pleasures and pains are made of consciousness. They are himself, and therefore he is free from them. They don't qualify them. They don't qualify him. They are not his adjectives, and therefore they are mithya, and therefore he is free from them, and therefore he is atmajnaha. Anyatha jnaha atmajnaha. But I am the doer. He makes him anatmajnaha. He is not a self. He is ignorant. He is under the spell of ignorance. If a person thinks he is full of actions, tatha vetaramevacha. And then if he thinks that he is related to the object, then also he is not atmajnaha. If he is advaitam, if he understands the self to be non-dual, as not qualified by anything, any object, any person, any even this body and the thought, his own thought and his own body, do not qualify his nature, then he is that I am qualified makes him anatmagnya, and he is not qualified. That nothing qualifies me makes him atmagnya. Anatmagnya, atmagnya. Jivatma and Paramatma. Yes. This verse also, 24th verse also is over. Now the 25th verse. Yatha anyatvepi, even though the self is not the body, but to take the self as the body, to take the self to be the body, he is ignorant. Even though he is free, he is being free from the body, but to take himself, when you are ignorant of the fact, you cannot do anything. You have to take the fact to be something else, and you do not see the fact. When you do not see the fact as the fact, then you see it as something other than it. That's why it's called atasmin tadbuddhi. Atasmin tadbuddhi means when it is not so, you think it to be so. It's not something that you are taking the absent as present. The present is taken as what is not it, what it be. It is the rope is only a rope. It cannot be a snake. It has no business to look otherwise also. It is seen to be the snake. It doesn't look to be the snake. It doesn't. The rope has no business to look otherwise than the rope, and therefore it doesn't look as the snake. It is wrong to say that it looks as the snake. It doesn't. It doesn't look as the snake. It is seen as the snake. It's seen as the snake. It is a prachay rupa. It is not look. It doesn't look the. It is the rope always looks as the rope only, and therefore it has no. It doesn't have any duty to look otherwise. In the same manner here also, the Atma by nature, always it is full, it is not Deha. That is its nature. That it is not Deha is its nature. That it is not thought, that it is not that it is not a faculty is its nature. That it is not the breath is its nature. That it is free from the body, from breath, and the mind and the intellect, etc. That it is free, it is not qualified by anything. Dehadishu Atmanaha Matam. But it is taken to be because due to ignorance, even when the fact is not known, the fact is seen to be something else. The fact is seen when the Atma is seen not qualified by Deha. There is a distinction between the Deha and the Atma, and that distinction is not seen. Then you take the Atma to be the Deha, and therefore that is in the same manner. In the same manner, Tatha Akartu, the action free. The Atma is action free. Avijnanat. Avijnanat means he is action free. The self is action free, but he is not known as action free. And therefore, akartuhu atmanaha ajnanat, avijnanat. So when the fact is not known as action free, then phalakarmatmata atmanaha. Phalakarmatmata means I am action, I am full of actions, and I enjoy the result of actions. I enjoy the pleasures, I enjoy the pains of my actions. In this manner, one thinks, and that is because one doesn't know one's existence, one's nature, as the factual nature. Mistaken to be action, and the Deha free is mistaken to be Deha. Deha free is mistaken to be Deha. When this that it is free from the body is not understood, then a person thinks that I am the body. A person thinks that I am action. When a person doesn't know that I am action free, then he thinks to be free from he is full of actions, pleasures, and pains, and therefore that is only ignorance. And in the spell, under the spell of ignorance, all these things have happened. Under the spell of ignorance, because of the ignorance, a fact is mistaken to be something else. A fact is mistaken to be something else. A fact is taken to be something other than itself. And therefore the action free, the Deha free is mistaken to be Deha. The action free is mistaken to be the action. The pleasure free is mistaken to be to have the pleasure, and the pain free is mistaken to have the pains. It is by nature serenity. Serenity is peace. By nature it is peaceful. And therefore, that to be peaceful is its nature. And therefore, and if that is not understood, then it is taken to be dukkhi. And therefore, and the more of it we will see in the next class, Ji. And tomorrow, mm, in another two classes, and we are going to have the other two classes till Wednesday, and then this only 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. One more what we can see. Uh, Shrutir Vijnati. Drishti means the sight of the consciousness, the sight of the consciousness. Drishti. Shruti, the listening nature of consciousness. Mati, the thinking nature of consciousness. Jnati, the understanding nature of consciousness. The sight is seen. Drishtaha janaihi sada. Always they are seen by the people, by the jivas. Tasam atma swarupatvat. And all of them, what you see in the dream, they're being yourself. Atma tasam. Tasam means they are being, they are being the nature of the self. Tasam atma swarupatvat. They being the nature of the self. They being the nature of the self. तासाम आत्मस्वरूपत्वात् अतः प्रत्यक्षता आत्मना, and therefore because atma looks to be pratyaksha, atma looks to be pratyaksha, atma looks to be pratyaksha because if the other things also, the drishti is pratyaksha, the shruti is pratyaksha, mati is pratyaksha, and vijnati is pratyaksha, and therefore and they're all seen. Because they're all seen, even consciousness is objectified, identified with the body. It is objectified, and therefore one thinks that Atma is Pratyaksha. Why Atma is Pratyaksha is not only on the basis of the dream, even on the waking state. I take myself to be the body, and therefore the body is seen, and therefore I see myself as the body. I see myself as the body. The Atma becomes the Saksha, Atma becomes the Pratyaksha, because the body is Saksha. The body being Pratyaksha, the Atma is also Pratyaksha. I take myself to be the body, and therefore the body being Pratyaksha, I also become the Pratyaksha. In the dream also, the Drishti is Pratyaksha, Shruti is Pratyaksha, Mati is Pratyaksha, and the Vijnati is Pratyaksha because they're all objectifiable. Thinking can be objectified, the sight can be objectified, the thought can be objectified, and the Shruti can be listening, it can be objectified. When you are listening, when you don't listen, you understand, you can objectify and understand. But then, and therefore, and identified with all of them in the dream, also the Atma looks as the Pratyaksham, and therefore, Atma is not Pratyaksham, Atma is Aparoksham. Being Aparoksham, it cannot be Pratyaksham. But being identified with the Pratyaksham, it looks as the Pratyaksham. Being identified, Atma being identified with the Pratyaksham, Atma being identified with the Pratyaksham, it looks as the Pratyaksham. Pratyaksham means objectifiable. When you are identified with the objectifiable, you look to be objectifiable. Anything that is objectifiable, you look to be objectifiable when you identify yourself with the objectifiable. And therefore, when you are identified with the objectifiable, you look to be objectified. And therefore, apratyaksham, aparoksham looks as the pratyaksham. Aparoksham, Atma is aparoksham, and it looks pratyaksham because it is identified with the pratyaksham. In the dream, it is identified with pratyaksham. Talk about the dream, the way the protection, because I am identified with the body, I am identified with the sight, I am identified with the thought, I am identified with the jnati, shruti, etc. In the waking also, because I am identified with all of the, this is the principles day, because one is identified with the protection, and therefore one looks as the protection. When you are identified with the protection, identify the objectifiable, you look to be objectifiable, but you are not objectifiable. You are a conscious being, and as aparoksha, you are aparoksha being. You are the subject. Subjectness may be objectifiable. Subject-object relationship is objectifiable, but consciousness is not objectifiable. And subject is consciousness. And then consciousness is not objectifiable. And therefore consciousness being not objectifiable, but identified with the pratyaksha, it looks objectifiable. When identified with the objectifiable, identified with the objectifiable, not you are indeed aparoksham, and that is exactly what is said here. Pratyaksham pratyakshata atmanaha. Atma looks as the pratyaksham if you are identified with like in the dream, you are identified with the drishti, shruti, mati, and vijnati, and therefore you are identified because and they're all nothing but they're all nothing but yourself, and therefore you look to be pratyaksha, but you are not pratyaksha. Identified with the pratyaksham, you look to be pratyaksham. You are not pratyaksham, and this is exactly what is meant. And the more of it we will see in the next class. Thank you very much, and we will have the classes on Monday and Wednesday, and then thereafter we will not have the classes, and then we will let you know the classes. In February maybe we will let you know. Will it not be possible to let you know?
Yes, sir.
Yes, you can after February, maybe February 1st onwards we will have the classes, or after if it is cold continues, we will continue the classes. Except then we will not have the classes here. We will have the classes after February, February 15th onwards. But you will be able to come. Yes, yes. To my, we can have the online classes. We will not have the classes here. But in case the corona picks up, otherwise we will have the classes here. We will continue to come on here classes, and if there are no classes, if there is no corona, then we will have the classes here only. If there is corona picks up, then we will have the classes, online classes. You can all sit down at home and hear it from there. Thank you very much. पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ओम शांति शांति शांति. Thank you, Ji. Today